How to win friends and influence people, how to win people to your way of thinking. We're on the principle that says simply this: begin in a friendly way. Dale Carnegie shares a story of a student that he had that was taking this course, and he thought, I need to try these principles. And he says, I was getting ready to have to move out of my apartment complex because the rent was going up. And he says many people in our complex had tried to get their rent reduced, but the landlord was absolutely incredible to work with, not friendly, turned everybody down. He says, you know what? I'm going to try these principles. So he wrote him a letter, and he said, I'm going to have to move out when my lease comes up. And he says, he visited me, came to my apartment, and he says, as soon as he opened the door, he says, I welcomed him in. And he says, I praised his apartment. I told him how much I liked it. I told him how incredible it was, the way that he managed it. He says, believe me, I was hearty in my approbation and lavish in my praise. And he says the landlord started to tell him his problems. He says, you can't believe how many people are not happy with me. He says, I have one guy that's threatening to break his lease because his upstairs neighbor snores. He says, I have another lady complaining about her leaks. And he just went on and on. And the gentleman said, you know, I really would like to stay. It's just that the rent's too high and I can't afford it. The landlord reduced the rent, but it wasn't enough for what this gentleman needed. And he says, I can't stay unless the rent is at this. And he happily reduced the rent. And on his way out, he said, is there any extra decorating or things that I could do to make your place nicer? My friends, why did that happen? Because he was friendly. People like to be treated kindly and friendly. Try it. It works.